Garuda being Vishnu's Vahan. You know what's a Vahan? How did you come to Pagdandi? How did you come to Pagdandi? Did you walk down? Did you come in a car or a cycle? You used some vehicle, right? So gods had their favorite vehicle. Have you seen Ganesh Ji with a mouse?
Yeah.
That's his vehicle. I don't know how he gets on it, but that's his vehicle. Okay? Or you see Lord Shiva with a bull? That's his vehicle. So like that, Vishnu had a vehicle, and that was the eagle called Garuda. So today's story is about how Garuda happened to be Vishnu's Vahan. So Vahan is the word they use for the ride. Right? Are you ready to listen? So before that, I'll give you some context. So it's said that all of us, all the living organisms in the universe come from the same father. That was Kashyapa, the son of Brahma. Now Kashyapa, the word Kashyapa means the turtle man. And like all turtles, he had a very long life. And just to make it even full and interesting, like some of us, he married. Not once, not twice, but many times. Okay? And from each of these wives, he got a different species of children. So one of the wives gave birth to the gods, one of the wives gave birth to the demons, one gave birth to the animals, one gave birth to the birds, one gave birth to the serpents as in nagas, right? And so on and so forth. So there are many wives, and that's how we have so many different creatures in the universe. This is one theory. Okay, so today's story is going to focus on two of his wives, Vinata and Katru. It said that Vinata is the mother of all birds and insects, and Katru is the mother of all serpents. Now you know nagas or serpents and eagles don't like each other. So that's what we're going to focus on. So the story goes like this. So one day Rishi Kashyapa came and asked both these wives, how many children do you want? So Katru said, I want many children. I want many children. And okay, so Kashyapa said, okay, here you get hundreds of eggs. And then Vinata came and said, I just want 2 kids. But they need to be mightier and stronger than all of the serpents put together. And he said, okay, Tathastu, you get 2 eggs. Now what happens is, the Katru's eggs hatch very soon and there are serpents crawling all over. So that kind of puts Vinata at a certain discomfort, and she's like, oh, my eggs are not hatching. So she waits, and the 2 eggs just don't hatch. She waits, she's getting very impatient. And one day she's so impatient, she goes, takes a stick and breaks 1 egg. And then out of that emerges a malformed child. And the child is so angry, he says, you called me ahead of time. And like Dola said, the only thing we knew is to curse. So he curses her. Okay, from now on, all your children are going to be the slave to the Nagas. And that's it. He rises up to the sky and becomes the god of dawn called Aruni. That's the story that ends there with him. Now the mother waits very patiently for the second child to hatch. Okay, so the second egg she's waiting very patiently this time. She doesn't want another curse. So she's waiting, and eventually the egg hatches and out pops Garuda, the giant eagle. He has strong wings, right? And then the problem is now these two are slaves to the Nagas, right? The curse was still in effect, right? So they are now slaves to the Nagas. Now they have to wait, they have to listen to the Nagas. So Nagas like, bring me water. So they go bring water. Get me food. They're getting them food. So they're running around for the Nagas, doing everything that the Nagas tell them to do, right? One day, Garuda is sick and tired of the slavery. He's like, enough now, I have had it. So he runs to the Nagas and says, please tell me a way out of this. What is the price for my liberation? I want to be free of the slavery. Nagas decide, let's have some fun. And they say, okay, in Indralok, in the heaven, there is Amrut, which is the nectar of immortality. What happens when you have that? You don't die, right? You'll be alive forever, like that girl, right? So he says, go fetch that nectar of immortality, the Amrut for us, and we'll set you free the moment you give us the nectar. Garuda says, fine, if that is it, I am going. And he takes his flight and he has giant wings. So he flaps them and flaps them and flaps them and flies till he reaches the heaven. And there he wages a war with the gods. And Indra is the god who is the king of the gods, right? So he fights him and he wins him. He defeats him and he secures the pot of the nectar. And as soon as he is about to take it away, Indra says, wait, the Nagas can't have this divine potion. It's just meant for the Devas. And he says, wait, my master has told me to fetch the pot. I have to take it away. I'm not saying I'm going to let him have a sip of this nectar. Trust me, I'll get this back to you. And then the Lord Indra says, okay, that's the case. I'll grant you a go. And they hatch a plan. So very soon, Garuda flies back to the earth and calls out to the Nagas, here, I have your Amrut. And the Nagas are very excited, they come running, yes, give it to me. He says, wait, before you give, I hand it over to you. Promise me you're going to release us from the slavery right now. And Nagas very happily looking at the Amrut in his hand, says, yeah, whatever they say, Tathastu, you're free. You're free to go from right now, from this moment on, your mother, you and all your siblings are free from slavery. And then he happily places the pot on the ground. And the Nagas are very excited now, they're creeping towards it, crawling towards it. And as soon as they're about to touch the pot, Garuda says, wait, look at you slithering in mud, dirty fellows. Go take a dip in the water, this is divine potion. Do you want to really dirty this pot by touching it with all the mud and grime around you? And they're like, yeah, let's go take a dip in there. So the Nagas go back to have a nice bath. Meanwhile, Indra comes down, takes the pot and hands it. And the Nagas come back, there is no pot. And they're mighty furious. Oh, where is my pot? He says. And the Garuda says, well, Indra, you took it away. And what were you doing there, standing there looking at that? Oh, was I supposed to do something? I was free, right? I'm not free now. I'm free to do what I please. And then the Nagas realize they were tricked, but they can't really do anything. And in sheer despair, they go to this blade of grass on which the pot was placed, and they roll around it. And because this pot was so divine, magically since that day they were able to shed their old skin and replace it with a new one. You know snakes shed their skin, right? Every few days, months, I don't know. But they do, right? So that is why they were able to shed their skin. Meanwhile, Garuda is very happy, he's kept his promise, he runs back to claim his boon. And Indra says, okay, tell me what you wish for. And Garuda says, from today onwards, all snakes should be our food. That's why, ever since that day, eagles prey on snakes. Eagles make snakes their food. If you see their claws, sometimes you can find a snake in their claws. That was the reason. And when Garuda was making his way back home, Vishnu stops him and says, tell me something. The pot of nectar was, Amrut was in your hands all the day, all this time. Why is it that you didn't try to have a portion of it? You could have been immortal. He says, see, I was just following my master's orders and I just did that. I think if I would have tasted a portion of it, that would have been considered stealing. I don't think it was fair. Vishnu is very impressed by that answer. He says, oh, that is amazing willpower and integrity. So from now on, I will ride you as my Vahan. Every time I enter the battlefield, I will be riding on your wings. And that's how Garuda becomes Vishnu's